When you're in one of your Schoology courses, you'll take a look at the tools on the left-hand sidebar and hit Conferences. And you'll have the opportunity to create a new conference. You can give that conference a name. And you can give that conference a date and a start time. You don't need to give it a start time, but you can go ahead and do that for clarity for your students. Once you go ahead and create the conference, you'll then hit the button to start the conference. I'm doing this video on my iPad through the Safari browser. This Conferences tool is not available in the iOS app, so you will have to use your iPad in the Safari browser. Go ahead and allow Once you're in that conference, you can take a look at the student list over here on the left. You'll notice that you can see all the students that are participating. And they're, on the student side, they can toggle their status by tapping on their name, and they can change, and you'll see John Doe's emoji there changing to something like applause or something like happy or something like thumbs up. So opportunity for formative checks if you wish to do so. And one of the things you want to consider is if you have a lot of users, the settings wheel here, you as the moderator might want to mute all the users. Now they'll still have the ability to turn on their microphone, but at the beginning of the session, it might be a good idea as people are kind of rustling around and maybe dogs barking in the background to turn off that microphone for everybody. That way if they want to add to the conversation, they can turn their microphone on themselves. Another setting you want to pay attention to is called lock viewers. It doesn't actually lock everything for them, but you have some toggle switches here that you might want to consider. If you don't want the students to access their own webcam, you can turn that off. The other one I recommend turning off is the private chat messages, so they can't chat in the background without you're paying attention to it. They can use the public chat instead. Or if you don't want the public chat going, you can turn that off as well. So there's some great opportunities there. Now, if you do want students to see one another and to interact with one another, you can go ahead and turn that webcam on. You might experience a little bit of lag in the video, and it might slow the conference down a little bit if you do so. You're going to want to bring in if you want to bring in a presentation, you can grab any PDF from your iPad. You can grab from your Google Drive. I'm grabbing from Recents. If you want to access your Google Drive, you can go ahead and do that. It's in the Browse folder, Locations. You can find your Google Drive there. I'm going to go from Recents. Takes a minute to upload here. Worth noting that this is something probably want to do ahead of time because the pause, or you can have students working on something else while you're doing it. But this takes just a couple of seconds to load up here. And once it's in, you'll be able to see your previously prepared PDF slides. We can hop that into full screen mode by using the full screen button down here. And we can zoom in a little bit just to see a little bit more of that slide. When you hit the zoom in button, that affects the student slides as well. They'll see what you see. If you change the slide, their slides will change as well. Tools we want to use are the annotate tool. And again, I'm using my iPad here with the Apple Pencil. You can annotate on the screen. You can make shapes. I've had a little challenge with the text tool on the iPad, but if you're using text, you might want to use the chat instead or have those slides prepared with text already on them. One of the cool features is all of your users can access this same board if you hit the chart tool here underneath the garbage can. That allows all of the users in your course to write on this, and you can see the name of those other users appear on the screen, and they'll be able to see that where your pen is on the screen. So a nice little feature if you want multiple students to interact. Keep in mind, all the students will be able to write on the board if you turn that feature on. You can hit the trash can to just delete all of the text on that slide. When you're done with the session, you go ahead and go to the three dots up here on the right, and you can end that meeting. It will save any recordings that you made, which brings up a great point. We want to think about what would it look like to record a session, the button up here, start recording. Go ahead and make that recording, and this will save into your conferences toolbar on your Schoology course. So it'll record your writing, it'll record all the audio that's going on, and then students that aren't able to join you live will be able to access those recordings later. So thanks for watching. I'm going to go ahead and end this session, but if you have any questions, we'd love to come alongside, help you and help your students get going with Schoology Conferences. Thanks.